I think it should go live on Facebook. Sometimes Facebook and Zoom have a strange relationship where it used to be real easy to do it right to Facebook, and then sometimes it doesn't go. So I record it and throw it up. But I think we'll
right. Well, that's been really nice to for the ones that don't fit in my time zone. I can just watch them later.
Yeah, and it's these have been like just super fun. I played with some people who I had never met before too.
Yeah.
And someone's like, "Oh, you should play with this person," and I'm like, "Okay," and then it ends up being just like a really super fun scene, and so I'm really excited about what this is like in the future for it.
Yeah, there's going to be something that comes out of this. New teams, new virtual teams that will choose to do things virtual rather than together.
Can you imagine your intro to improv is online?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Now, I'm going to tell you how many suggestions we have. And you just pick a number between 1 to 24.
24. 8.
All right. Good old suggestion number 8. Saurabh gives a suggestion. Dark Age of Computing. Dark Age of Computing.
I'm so sorry, sir. It's not your laptop's not ready yet.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
I'm just really excited. I'm really excited. So I wanted to come out and see when it's ready. So I know I'm days early. So I just
it's okay. No, we like enthusiastic people, and we like, is the loaner is okay? The loaner is fine?
Yeah. It's amazing. It's fantastic.
Okay.
I got to say, this whole process, nothing but good news. I'm going to write a letter, and I will definitely send that. And I just wanted to say, like, what you're doing, it's amazing. I'm very appreciative.
Your invoice, Gary. I can call you Gary. Yeah.
Yeah, please. In fact, I would prefer you call me Gary. Don't call me Mr. Gulag. Call me Gary.
No, Mr. Gulag. GG. Do people call you GG?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they do. My brother calls me GG. My whole family calls me GG. Nobody calls me by my name, Gary. They call me GG. But so you feel free to call me GG or Gary, either one. People I know, like acquaintances and people that are like not dear friends, would call me Gary. But friends and family call me GG. I feel like right now, because we've interacted so much, you fall in that camp of friends and family. So
oh my God, that's so great.
Yeah, if you want to call me GG, that's fine. If you want to call me Gary, that's fine as well. Just don't call me Mr. Gulag, because that's more. No. We don't have that relationship anymore. We're past that.
No, we're long past that. Well, GG, I want if I wanted to write a letter, to someone complimenting you, who could I send that to? I mean, you have corporate, the address, you've got all that. It'd be nice to write to return the favor.
Terry, my first thought is you could send it to my ex-wife, but I don't think she'd read it. I don't think she'd read it. I mean, she might. She would see it's coming from you, and then she's like, "Oh, what is this?
CompuSource,
Yeah, it's like
open it.
She might, because she might think it's like some sort of deal. So yeah, maybe. How about my ex-wife? I mean, we're very amicable. Like it's not that we got divorced because of any drama or tension. It was just like we grew apart. So I think if you said that, yeah,
it just happens. Well, I'd be happy to do that, but is there something I can get a little bit more bang for the buck? You know what I'm saying? A little boost for you.
Ooh.
Yeah. I have to tell you, I get a lot of letters saying that I'm great.
Yeah, you should. I mean, they're on the wall.
It's Terry this, it's Terry that. The evals come in, and it's like, the guy my boss says, Terry, we got to do this. It's a formality, but you know the story. But Gigi, what can I do? Who can I write to?
Well, I mean, there's one person.
Okay.
Um, I recently connected with my birth mother. Well, I found where she was,
Oh,
and she's been very cordial, and was somewhat surprised to hear from me, but she doesn't right now feel comfortable meeting in person because she feels like, I mean, there's a lot of guilt on her side. She told me that the circumstances where she had to give me up. And so
yeah, sure.
I think if you wrote her, a letter, it might be like a letter of recommendation that would ease her mind. And then I could meet with her in person. And that's that's really what I've been thinking about doing for my
Uh,
whole life. So,
a letter assessing your character and your good qualities, and
oh, sounds great.
so your character, good qualities, and reliability.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
I mean, you've been coming in every single day here, asking about your laptop. That's reliable.
right.
You remember
Consistent.
my name. I forgot my name tag today, but you remember my name.
Let me
And
ask you something.
yeah,
I know I go into some places, and if they forget a name tag, they have to wear somebody else's name tag. But CompuServe doesn't make you do that.
no, CompuServe you have a one tag, one person policy.
Ooh, and then
So
I'm sure if you lose it permanently, they charge you. Right?
you lose $50 deposit. It's gone. But I know where my name tag is. I know where I left it. It's in a bowl. It was hidden under some fruit on the way out, and I know exactly where it is. I called my roommate. He set it aside, and so I know exactly where Terry is. My $50 is safe.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
It's the CompuServe difference.
Ah, see that now that makes sense. And that's what you give me. You give me that difference every day. Like I come in here, most places, if I were to come in every day to ask about something, they would be annoyed or upset
Annoyed.
or they'd roll their eyes. And it's like, well, look at from my point of view, I'm excited for what you're offering. I'm excited for your product. I'm excited for your service. So I want to come in and just see. And honestly, Terry, when I come in here, you give me a smile. And some days I don't get a single smile. I mean, I work at a law firm, and that's all business. It's all business.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And people have lost that human connection, and a smile makes a world of difference. So instead of going in to get coffee in the morning, I come in here.
You can help yourself to the coffee, Gigi. You know that, don't you? Yeah.
Oh, I did.
Good. And you can watch our technicians through the glass wall. You can just watch them. I think Simona on station 13 has your computer today.
Ah,
You can watch Simona. Yep, that's Simona waving back. Nice.
and you're telling me all of everything I'm used to now is in this smaller version, right? Like I can't get over this. All the power. Now I can take this as portable.
Portable. It's super thin, super light. You want to. You might lose it. You might pick up your backpack and think it's not even in.
I'm giving a CompuServe. I'm paying for this like you pay for your name tag. If I lose it, I have to pay more than $50. I mean,
way, quite a lot more than $50.
This is $5,200.
Something like that. Yeah. It's a significant amount.
Wow.
And your law firm, they might cover it, they might not. Who knows? No. Oh,
I don't think they would. I don't think so.
That kind of jag off. Excuse me. Sorry.
No.
I'm not particularly fond of lawyers.
No, I mean, you're right. It's
law firm.
Yeah. I mean, and again, I want to see it from their point of view, which is like if everybody was losing their computers or their equipment or their bag phones, if everyone started losing those, then pretty soon they're going to be spending so much money on all of that. So, I mean, I don't agree with it personally, but also to me, I think it's some sort of incentive for us not to lose that equipment.
Gigi, that sounds really a stressful place to work.
Yeah.
And you've got,
I want to quit.
Well, and you've got meeting your birth mother hanging over your head.
I mean, it's now that you talk about it, that's a lot. I am going. That's so you see, your smile makes a big difference.
And you've got a broken $5,200 laptop.
I know.
That Simona seems to be doing great, but you know, yeah, you got a lot on your plate.
I mean, when I got it, I was so excited. And I was taking it right out to my car, and then I dropped it, and I had to come right back in. And you were like, "Hey, good to see you again." And I was like, "I guess who's back?"
No, it's great to see you. It's kind of one of the brighter spots of my day. So, I mean, yeah, let's cheers.
Cheers to bright spots.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to need it's the screen that's really the most expensive, delicate part of your repair.
It's like the face of the computer.
It really is. You stare at it, but it stares also back at you. You know, I wouldn't worry about it, but you know, it's a complete surveillance culture now. You know,
only a matter of time.
Right. It's unfortunate your last name is Gulag. It's gotta feel like the walls are maybe closing in on you a little bit.
I feel like I'm in a prison I made myself.
Maybe I think it's time to break out of that prison, Gigi.
Yeah. Maybe you know what? Maybe today's the day.
Why not?
Maybe I just walk right out of this store and I go hand in my resignation.
You know what? I can write that resignation letter for you.
All right, type it up.
Making notes the entire time. So
it is a surveillance.
It really, I'm just gonna throw it back and just voice read it, and it'll just come right out. So help yourself to another cup of coffee. Your resignation letter will be done.
Thanks, Terry. Scene. Oh man, dude, it's so fun playing with you. Anytime we get together and just like, I mean, it's fun hanging out with you, obviously, and it's then fun to get a chance to play.
That was super fun as well. I was worried. I'm glad. I was worried it would get into a transaction scene, but of course it didn't, because it's with you, and it's just, yeah, it's super fun to do anything with you, Jay.
Yeah. And like, the older I get too, the more I'm like, who cares? You know, like those scenes are fun too if you just make a connection. So like, make a connection, know the person. It goes into something else. It's fine.
Gary Gulag. Come on.
I was trying to think as I said it. I'm like, God, is that an actual? Have I heard that name before? Like, I know Gulag. I know that that prison, but I'm like, Gary Gulag. When it came out, I'm like, maybe somewhere in my brain I had seen something. Sometimes that happens in a scene, you know, where you're just like, it's this last name, and you're like, where do I know that name from? And it's like, oh, it's that baseball player from the 70s that I just said. So I don't know where that came out.
But there's no baseball player Gulag, is there, that you know of?
Maybe.
If you don't know, I certainly do not know.
I don't think there is, but I think Gary Gulag, it seems like it's a name that I've heard before, but if not, I think double initial names are super fun.
I think they're fun too.
Now you're in Bulgaria now.
Yes, I'm in my apartment in Sofia, and this is where I've been, basically holed out, for the past few months. And our school term just ended officially on Tuesday. So I'm staring. I had a couple of things to do yesterday, but basically my work has ended for the summer. So I don't have anything to do officially until September 7th.
And with this whole quarantine situation happening, we talked earlier about just taking everything moment to moment, but the fact that your term ends, and usually over the summers you travel a ton, right?
Yeah, I'll try and go back home to Chicago. I'll try and go to these festivals that happen in June and here in Europe. So all of that is gone. There's still a festival that is being scheduled in Poland in late June and late July that has Jason Schatz, supposedly coming from California. That, as far as we know, has not been called off. Poland is starting to get locked down. I looked today, I can buy a flight to and from Warsaw, so I don't know what's actually going to happen. But yeah, mostly I would be traveling over the summer, and none of that is probably going to happen.
This also might be a surprise for a lot of people because I co-host a podcast with Landon Kirksey, and people have asked many times if Dr. Ron is real or if it's something we imagined. And Dr. Ron is real. This is the Dr. Ron from the podcast who submits those questions to us, which are great questions that then we ask a guest. And you've submitted a whole bunch of questions for us, and they've been great conversation pieces.
Oh, thanks. They're things that I just that strike me in my head as I either listening to you guys or just walking around, and I write them down on my phone, and then put them on the Google Drive list and stuff like that. So you guys haven't put out a podcast for a little while. I saw Landon doing the People's Court thing.
Yes. or coxswain friendly. Landon had to leave, and then coxswain friendly took his spot. But yeah, it's funny you submit those questions, and then I would just kind of erase them from my list. And so I'd be like, all right, this week you have these questions. You can choose number 1, 2, 10, 15. And then you're like, dude, you don't have to do that. Just look at the Google list of questions and I'll update it that way. I was like, oh, that makes more sense.
Right. Yeah, I'm happy to do that. It's nice to, and then of course you guys pimp the guests to do a theme song every week, which makes my heart explode every single time. Having them do that, which is some are so great and some are very, very plaintive, which is fine. It's totally fine. But to have a theme song every episode is just really heartwarming for me.
So it's so fun too to watch the people who jump right into it, the people who kind of slowly realize what we're saying and then do it, and then the few times where somebody has been like frozen. And then if they don't say anything, we go like, that's great. What a great, it's really like nice. Jazz. Oh, It's not the words you said there. We've had, interestingly enough, we've had students on, or people who are still going through classes, and they've hopped right into doing that song. A lot of them, which just shows you the fearlessness of some people, where they're in a level 1 or a level 2 class, and then they're like, oh, okay, and then they go right into it. So it's great, and it's such an important part of that show, of that, I guess, what podcast. That's a show, right? A podcast.
Yeah, a podcast show. There's no difference. It's a show that appears as a podcast.
And you and Fran have a duo, which is,
we are Decent Freaks, and we've done a few shows around. We're currently sort of taking a little bit of a break, but hopefully we'll get back into it into the summer. I'd love doing that. And again, did the online stuff, because we live in separate cities, we would rehearse, very similar to what we're doing now. And it was,
Right.
So I'm really hoping that we'll be getting back into it a little bit later in the summer. But yeah, I love improvising with Brent.
Yeah, you two work really well together, and you were early pioneers of online rehearsal because of geography.
Through necessity, Jay.
Through necessity, which I think is like, the mother, obviously the mother of invention, but I think for improv, people are now catching up to where you've been, which is like, okay, we either don't rehearse or we do it this way. This is our only choice.
Yeah, you just make the best of the limited thing, but you can still make a connection. I mean, obviously, if you're going to do a long distance relationship, you
Yes.
have to do some sort of connecting or using via technology. So why not just extend that to improv as well?
And she's in Russia, right?
Yeah,
Moscow?
she's in Moscow at the moment, and they're sort of in the earlier phases of the lockdown. So you need passes. You need to apply for movements to use public transportation and things like that. So they're hopefully they'll get a little bit. They'll contain it a little bit faster than they did in the United States. So.
Well, like we talk about when we see each other all the time, moment to moment, day to day, man.
Day to day, sometimes 10 minutes at a time is plenty.
Dude, the first few weeks I was second to second. It was like, I can't.
Oh God, yeah.
It was just like shit. Everything. I remember talking to my buddy Will, and I'm like, what do you think about this whole situation? He goes, I'm trying not to plan too much because everything changes. This time, he's like, look at what happened last week at this time. He goes, in a week from now, man, that's a huge amount of time. Everything's going to change. And so I was like, oh yeah, like everything changes in so much more rapidly now.
Well, my big adjustment here is the food here in restaurants is pretty cheap. So I would go out for every single meal except for breakfast. And now I've had to relearn how to cook for myself. And now when we're done here, I'm going to cook my own homemade Italian sausage. Right? So, because you can't get Italian sausage here. And so it's like, I will just make it myself. So, so I've actually rediscovered that I'm actually not a bad cook.
And as a Chicagoan, buddy, sausage is in your blood, man.
Absolutely, man.
And your arteries and your heart.
Everything else.
If people want to find you and Decent Freaks, like how can they find and follow you?
So I'm on Facebook. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me. Ronald Harvey. The links there to Decent Freaks, and then the other groups that I'm in was Latin here in Sofia. We're in the 2-person Brigadiers. Other groups that we have a small English language group scene happening here. But that's probably the best way to get a hold of me and to see what's happening with Decent Freaks.
Dude, are you? Let us know. Keep us updated as far as any performances and things like that. And yeah, it's just such a joy seeing you and playing with you. And I can't wait to do it again.
Oh, thanks, Jay. Also, I just wanted the last plug I want to make is my university. We created an improv club, and the students, almost all women, like 13 women and 1 guy, formed the very first English language college improv university in the Balkans, and they did their first show, and they love it. They had such a great time, and so improv is slowly taking roots here in the Balkans.
And that's great. And people, like, if they're looking to bring on a teacher or a coach or an outside eye for improv, Ron has that. You are, I mean, you've got the mindset and the brain and the ability to teach and to lead people. So like, it's great. I'm always like, do more, do as much as you can, because I think you'd have a huge impact.
Oh, thanks so much, Jay. I'm available. Happy to do that for anyone.
All right. Love you, brother. We'll talk soon.
Love you too. Take care.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.